Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel where we raw dog our way through this content. And I appreciate you guys for not caring about the editing, not caring about the perfect imperfections in the thumbnails, and not caring about the imperfections in the way that I speak. You're just here for the education that I'm dishing out, going from 7 figures to 8 figures in my business. And that's what it's all about, you guys. I'm here to share all of the stuff that I know as I'm going, and my goal is daily. So if I can do daily, Monday through Saturday, then welcome. Thank you. And there's going to be plenty to work with, plenty of education along the way. So we had a 20K, our first 20K day in our coaching business last week, and I want to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that we had to do to get there. Some of the high-level bullet points. Number one, this is a $10,000 offer, so we sold two. The benefit, the reason that this is significant is because selling one in a day is like, okay, you sold one. When you sell multiple in a day or you close multiple in a day, that means that you're onto something when it comes to your marketing, when it comes to your offer. And this was our first multiple sales in a day closing. And it's not insignificant. It's not something that's like, okay, yeah, cool, you did it. It's a coincidence. No, it's not that. Because we have like 8 or 9 other closings, like sales calls all lined up, and these people are very hot and ready to buy, which is awesome because that means we're going to get to 100K months here soon. We actually did 100K month last year in this coaching business, but we refined our offer, and this is a completely new offer now. And so getting to 100K months in this offer is going to be very, very significant. And we should hit that, though. My hope is, if not this month, in February for sure. That'd be great. So a few things that I want to talk about when it comes to offers. So the first thing is psychology behind pricing of an offer. I think it was Zig Ziglar I heard a couple years ago. No, sorry. 15 years ago, I was listening to a thing or read it in a book. Either way, it doesn't matter. Zig Ziglar said something like, it's easier to sell one person $1 million product than it is to sell 1 million products at $1. It's easier to sell $1 million product to one person than 1 million products. Freaking A. How did then 1 million products for $1. Yeah, that's what it is. 1 million products for $1. One product at $1 million versus 1 million products at $1. Why was that so difficult to get out? The point is like pricing structure. Having your pricing optimized for success doesn't just mean the cheapest price. You guys know this. It means what is the price? What's the price point that's going to produce the most ideal outcome? And if you have for example, if you have a product that you know or service that you know is going to net somebody $15,000 or $20,000, sometimes our imposter syndrome instinct is to say, I'm going to price this at $1,500. I did market research. Other people are pricing this $1,500 or $2,000. But in reality, if you're pricing it too low, then you're going to attract an audience member or a customer that might not be the right mindset. So, for example, we've sold product and services all across the spectrum. And anytime we sell too cheap, too low, we end up painting ourselves into a corner because the mindset of somebody who doesn't spend multiple thousands is, this is my livelihood that I'm investing into this product or to this program. And if I don't see a return, then you're messing with my livelihood. So the pressure is much more intense. And a lot of the times those types of clients don't end up seeing a return on their investment because they're coming into this with this like anxious type of energy. And what happens when we have anxious type of energy? We push things away. If you guys want to learn about anxious attachment in relationships, go look up that stuff. It's fascinating how it works. Like if you're too anxious in a relationship, you push your partner away. It's the same thing with money. It's the same thing with business. If you're too anxious in your business, you push money away, you push business away. So my point in saying this is that if you price too low, you attract a type of customer, type of avatar that is going to be more difficult to work with. As opposed to pricing a little bit higher on the spectrum, now you're going to be attracting people who respect you, who have more faith in you, and they look at this more as an investment as opposed to a gamble with their livelihood. And those are the types of people that you want. Case in point, I spent $10,000, and this isn't a flex, by the way. I don't intend it to be that way. There's a lesson here. I spent $10,000 on an Instagram course about 3 months ago. And I get into the course, spend my $10,000, I get into the course, and within about a week, I realize this actually isn't for me. This isn't going to work. Now, I could have been frustrated. I could have gone to them and been like, I was sold a lemon. This isn't what I wanted. You guys ripped me off. But I didn't. I looked at it and I said, okay, what can I learn from this? Well, I can learn that I probably saved myself $40,000 or $50,000 chasing rabbits, investing in something that I could have taken way further down the road and spent and wasted a whole ton of money, or created an entire product or program deviating from what my bread and butter is, and wasted a whole lot of time, effort, and energy on that. Again, time is money, and so spending a whole lot of money chasing something that wasn't going to be a good fit for me. So rather than seeing it as a $10,000 loss, I see it as I spent $10,000 to save myself maybe $50,000 or $60,000 later on down the path. So I see it as net savings, which keeps me in the mentality of abundance. It keeps me in that mentality of success and hope and faith, which is where you need to be as a business owner. Okay, so now that we've kind of understood the psychology of an offer and pricing an offer, we price this offer at $10,000 to give to give the audience the impression, number one, because we have netted way more than that using this strategy that we're selling in this. And we know that, and our clients, and a lot of our clients have netted way more than that using that product, this program. And so for us, it was like, okay, it's a no-brainer. This is a good place to price it. But the other thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to price it at the point where our clients take it seriously enough to go all in, to really like focus hard on getting that outcome. Because that's another part of creating a solid offer, is you need to make sure that what you're producing is taken seriously. And if you got somebody who spends $200 on a program, on a course, they're probably not going to take it that seriously. As opposed to if they spend $10,000 on a product or program or course, then they're going to take it more seriously. So this is like, what's interesting about this, if you like think about it for a second, the difference between a $2,000 course and a $10,000 course for a lot of people is that they're going to take the $10,000 course more seriously, and they're going to get it's a higher likelihood of getting an outcome from it, as opposed to just spend $2,000, don't do anything with it, you shelf it, or $500, you shelf it, and you don't see an outcome. They could be exactly the same program, but the pricing is what actually gets them to commit harder to the program. So keep that in mind as you're building out your own programs and you're pricing your own programs. It's not always about if one program is better than another. It's more about if they take it more seriously. That blew my mind. When I learned that absolutely blew my mind. Right? Because like if I go into a conversation, let me keep breaking this down. I'm 8.5 minutes into this, but if I keep breaking this down, if I go into a conversation, actually, let's use somebody else for example. So a number of years ago, Alex Hormozi made some videos about paying for conversations with Grant Cardone, and I think Layla spent like $50,000 for a couple sessions with Grant, and because they spent $50,000, Alex listened to everything that Grant said, and he went and executed on that, and he made a multiple on his $50,000 investment. Now, if Grant would have been like, yeah, it's $1,000, would Alex have gone into it with that same intensity? Would he have been likely to do everything that Grant told him to do? I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, it's, again, ask yourself that. If you spend $10,000 on something, and your wife's at home, your spouse is at home, and they're like expecting a return, you spend 10 grand, are you going to take that seriously? Yeah. Yes, you are. You're going to take it very seriously. So anyway, that was one of the very first things before we even built out the program, was like, this is the price point that we need to be at in order for people to take it serious. All right. The other thing is having your offer dialed in, and there's so many factors that go into making sure your offer is dialed in to your core audience. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make, though, is when they're creating a coaching program, any type of service, they try to broaden it too much because they're like, well, I don't want to say no to this person. I don't want to say no to this person. I don't want to say no to this person. But there was a really valuable exercise or example that was done. I'm trying to remember if it may have been in Hormozi's book. I think it was in Hormozi's $100 Million Offers book. What he talks about is like, if you are, well, I'll just use this example. I use this all the time. If you're a general practitioner doctor, the average general practitioner makes between $200,000 and $400,000 a year. And they're just kind of like a generalist, right? They'll fix a broken bone. They'll prescribe some medicine. They will give you an enema, all of the above. Versus a brain surgeon who is very, very specialized. They do one thing really, really well, brain surgery. But they make over $1 million a year on average because they're so specialized. So when you're creating an offer, it's the same principle, right? If you're too broad, too generalized, not specific enough, then you're generally not going to make as much money as if you're very specifically, you're laser focused on one target demographic of people, and you have a very specific problem that you help them solve that they can't do by themselves. You are a McDonald's franchisee cleaning service for their potato fryers, right? And you only focus on McDonald's because they have very specific fryers. That makes you more of an expert than someone who is just a generalist kitchen cleaner. Now, that might be a bad example because I think general kitchen cleaners are probably pretty good at cleaning fryers too, no matter which restaurants they're in. But you get my drift, right? The more specialized you are, the more specific you are, the easier it's going to be for you to sell and be able to sell at a higher ticket price. So making sure that your offer is dialed in and you're very, very focused on that core demographic that you want. You're specialized. All right, then marketing is the next thing that we needed to do. Is we have to have marketing dialed in. If you can spend all the time on an offer that you want creating it, you could spend months creating the most beautiful and perfect, pristine offer that will make people millions of dollars. But if you don't have clients, you don't have customers, you're not getting in front of people, and you don't have that marketing message dialed in to those specific people, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're not going to sell anything. So having your marketing dialed in is key. Now, we have experimented with a ton of different marketing modalities. We've done virtual sales letters, ads run to virtual sales letters, VSLs. We've done organic traffic leading to links to book calls. We have an email list. We have, you name it. We've done challenges. We've done all sorts of things specifically promoting this offer. And these sales came from challenges. It's selling a very low ticket challenge. Hey, for $97, do this challenge. For the next 30 days, we're going to show you how to create content that will drive traffic to your offer. People come, they go through 30 days of doing this, and by the time they're done, they don't want to stop. That's the benefit of doing challenges, is you get them bought into a little portion of your system, and then at the end of the road, they're begging you for more. They've had some success along the way, and they haven't invested a ton of time. They haven't invested a lot of money. They've got to essentially test the product or the service before committing the entire way. And that's where this was successful. That's where these two sales came from, were from people who went through that program. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have the same results from ads. You can't have the same results from organic content. You can. It's just a matter of figuring out what's going to work best for you and your product, and then doubling down on that once you've got that on lock. Once you got your marketing figured out, now it's time to double down on it. So our goal now is marketing more to our challenges to get more people in the door on that front side in that test period, because the more people we get in on that test period, the more likely it is they're going to close at the end of that challenge. Super, super beneficial. Okay. Next thing, sales call. The sales call. You got to get the sales call dialed in. Now, this is another thing that I talked about a couple of days ago. I've actually talked about it a few times over the last week, is selling the dream, not selling the product. It's like, what is the outcome that what's their most desired outcome? What do they want? And how can you make your service the vehicle that will get them from where they're at now to where they want to be? The other thing that we use in our sales process is case study examples. You guys, people just want to trust. They just want to believe that what you're offering them is going to work for them too. So the more case study examples that you have, the more proof that you can show them that this product or program works, the higher likelihood is that they're going to buy. Now, some of you guys might be like, somebody made a comment that I was a grifter. I'm like, I'm just giving away information. I'm really not trying to sell you guys anything. But the thing is, and I get that, like, I think my point is, I understand that comment. Like, I understand listening to this, how people might think that way. And, my rebuttal to like the grifting remark is that everybody purchases based off of emotion. Everybody. And it's a different emotion for everybody. Sometimes it's an impulse buy. Sometimes it's a logical decision. Sometimes it's like a fear of missing out. There's all sorts of different emotions that you can trigger in sales. Everybody purchases by and through emotion. If you have belief that your product or service will help someone, then it's your obligation to offer that product or service to the most people that it can help. If you have belief in if you know that your product or service is not going to work, then don't sell it. That's integrity. That is grifting. That's snake oil, right? But if you know that your product or service helps X amount of people, then why wouldn't you want to try and sell it to as many humans as humanly possible? That just makes sense. That's just smart business. So here we are. We sold two $20,000 coaching services last week. So the next things that we need to focus on are delivery, and we've got our onboarding system that we're working on getting dialed in right now. That's the next step. Is once we have all of these things dialed in, then we'll be good. Fulfillment is next. We just want to make sure that our fulfillment is unlocked, so that way when we hire new people to come in, we can train them on procedural things, and then they can just fall in line. They can just do the exact same things that we're doing, and then we can scale the business as high as we humanly want. I keep saying that. As high as we want. So for you guys, just to reiterate, for you guys, specifically designing your own products or services, right? Just your offer needs to solve a problem. You need to price it accordingly, and think psychology. Which type of people do you want to work with? Do you want to work with people who are a little bit more difficult because they're on the cheaper side? Not cheaper side. It's on the they have less to spend. They don't see it as an investment. They see it as a risk or a gamble to their livelihood. Or do you want to work with people who are on that investment side? They're like, yes, I want to learn this. I have the money and resources. It's not that big of a pinch, but it's enough of a pinch to make me want to do the work, get all that stuff dialed in. Is your offer solving a very specific problem that positions you as a specialist? Okay. And then also, does it create a desired result that you can charge an acceptable amount? You can charge those higher tickets for. Remember, if it's money, like if you're teaching people how to trade stocks, and you have made $1 million trading stocks, and your program has yielded a number of successful case studies where people have made hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, you can charge a little bit more for it because there's a higher perceived likelihood that that's going to result in the same results that you've gotten for other people. And then marketing. Where are your clients coming from? Do you have your marketing dialed in? In all fairness, you should probably figure out marketing before you even have your offer fully unlocked, because if you don't know where your clients are coming from, then you're kind of dead in water. So you should probably do some research ahead of time and create a marketing plan before you even structure out your offer. And then sales. How are you going to close them? How are you going to close them? How are you going to fulfill them? Remember, sell the dream, sell the emotion. You have all of the logical checklists, right? Here are the things that you're getting included in this, right? That's obvious. You're going to sell the product as well, but you end up closing them based off of whatever emotional trigger that they have. Is it logic? Is it FOMO? Is it yeah, just what is it? What's the last one? I don't remember. Emotion. Focus on emotion. All right, guys. Hopefully this one was a good one for you and gave you some food for thought. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments because, as always, I'm going to take your comments and I'm going to turn them into content as we're going forward. Sorry for bumbling and stumbling sometimes my way through this, but again, that's the raw dog, Scott Simpson, that you know. We're just going no edits, you guys. All right, take care. See you on the next one. Later.